can't turn back because of the people he knows are going on.
So, but he needs to acknowledge that Finarfin is right and that he still can't do what he's doing because he has a duty to these other people. Like, Father, I know you're right. I know we should turn back, but I can't abandon these other people who are still going to keep going.
He can say, you go and represent us to the Valar. I will represent you to our people.
Yeah.
But like Finarfin is not okay with this. He's resigned to it, but he's
yes.
I don't want Finarfin to give him permission to go on as his heir. I want him to be like, you're making the wrong decision, but I see that I can't persuade you.
Right. That's essentially yes. I agree.
He's like heartbroken.
Yes. Of course.
He could even say, if you truly wanted to represent me, you would come back with me and show the people that that's the right thing to do. And maybe they would listen to you and, whatever. Like, Finarfin's like, if I could just get more of you to come, then even more would come and we'd have this cascading effect.
And Finrod can say, if they won't listen to you, why would they listen to me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted Fingolfin's pride to be a sub theme in this. Is like he's
his pride is in his word here.
But his word was an abnegation. The word that he gave that he's holding himself to was abnegation, according to you guys.
Right. The reason why let me explain. When I read the lines that Fingolfin says when he says that this is at the exile of Fëanor. This is before the feast on Tanaquero. He says, I hold you. He basically essentially extends not forgiveness, but he doesn't hold it against Fëanor right there immediately.
I will release you.
Right. He says that. When I read that, that seems to be less about Fëanor than it is about the interference of the Valar. Because the Valar, and Finwë says, I hold myself unkinged. Because you're running my show for me anyway. Right?
Finwë says that I hold myself unkinged.
Right. But the point is that that's Finwë's response to the Valar's intervention here.
Yes.
But Nick's pointing out that Fingolfin's response of, oh, hey, you're going to come interfere in our affairs? Well, I'm saying that I don't think there's anything wrong here, so we're done, right? So it is a response to the Valar interfering more than a...
My reading is that the Valar asked them to be reconciled, and Fingolfin said, yes, I will reconcile.
No, but that's later. What I'm saying is before Fëanor even goes...
Before the banishment even happens.
Right.
Before there's even exile. When they're trying to declare the exile, Fingolfin releases his brother then, as if to say there was no beef here that needed the Valar's intervention.
Because in a way, there wasn't. Finwë
had it.
Make a very good case that Finwë should have been the one to handle this. I hear pages.
Yeah. Well, it's a complicated issue because you've got too many kings. The Elvish kingdoms each have a king. Ingwe is High King of the Elves, and then you've got Manwë, who's king of all of Aman, and technically all of Middle Earth as well. So, who's in charge? And when do things become serious enough to get bumped up to the next level?
Here it says the Valar say you're banished, 12 years, which is actually like 109 years or something. After that time, if this matter shall be set in peace and held redress, if others will release thee. And Fingolfin said, I will release my brother. He's saying, I will, when you are brought back to banishment, I will release you then.
Right.
But he's saying that the Valar are inviting him to be willing to forgive his brother, or hoping that he will be willing, and he says, I will be willing to forgive you.
Right. I agree with you. I agree with you. But I'm saying that he says, because he says that immediately. If he said that at the reconciliation, I 100% agree that it is the result of the Valar trying to get them to make up.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is that because he says it immediately, it suggests that he's almost showing like Noldor solidarity.
Yes. But it's also,
Okay.
he didn't take the threat on his life seriously. He didn't think Feanor was capable of running him through, right? Like,
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. Is that
like,
is
Feanor
that
never
the Valar are taking this a little far, in the opinion of both Finwë and Fingolfin.
and they don't. Neither of them realize that Feanor really sincerely meant it.
Well, he meant it, but did he mean to kill his brother? No.
Because
So
if he meant to kill his brother, he would have just killed him.
Well, no,
yeah,
no,
he
I
had him at sword
don't
point.
mean he intended to kill his brother right there. I mean, when Feanor makes the threat, try but once more to usurp, blah blah blah, I will kill you. He really intends to kill Fingolfin the next time Fingolfin gets uppity.
Yes.
And Finwë and Fingolfin don't really think that his threat is credible. They don't think he's bluffing. They think
he's just being a hothead. They think he's being a hothead.
Gonna do that.
Yeah, I agree with you. What I'm saying is that both Finwë and Fingolfin see the Valar's interference in this incident as an overstep.
Right.
Okay, so
But Fingolfin accepts the kingship.
He takes it because who else is there? Dad just left. Somebody's got to run Tyrion. Anyway, well, we could go on about this all night. I think we need to finish up what we're working on here, though. So, okay. So, Finrod rejects Finarfin's invitation to return with him.
While admitting a really good point, and that
he's
still conflicted, but is ultimately going to go with
the
rest of the family.
Fingolfin. Now everybody's looking to Fingolfin. Everybody's got to be, right? And he may say outright that perhaps, and this could actually lead the audience to believe that he's going to turn, right? That he's going to turn and go with Finarfin. And he can say that maybe there is some truth to what the Valar are saying, that we are all being led to ruin. Perhaps,
But he's too proud. He's too proud to change his. He said he's going to do X, and he's too proud to go back on it.
Right. However, I will not betray my word.
But he's also.
I will not betray my word, nor will I encourage any others to do so.
But he's also unwilling to abandon his quest to get revenge for his father. Yes,
that's true. But that's what I'm saying is that that's not something that he is. That's not a good enough reason. He may not even think that that's a good enough reason, right? When he says it, but he also has to say that he won't encourage anybody else to go back on their word, because if it's just about his personal commitment, why doesn't he just send everybody else home?
Yes, but they're not held to his word.
That's what I'm saying. But they're held to their own course, right? And he can also say, and I will not return to Valinor with the blood of my kin on my hands.
I cannot return to Valinor with the blood of my kin on my hands.
Right. So again, we're going back to his own sense of personal responsibility, which in some ways is a little misguided here. He's not wrong that he's guilty.
I want him to come. I mean, he's going to come across as proud, right?
Yeah,
We want him to.
Yes. Yes.
We also have been trying to think about how to set up his final moments, you know, when we make character choices for him. And part of what results in his death is that when he thinks things are lost and that it's all over and he hits despair, he is just as crazy as his older brother. Like, there is nothing reasonable in his actions at the end of that battle.
It's not he thinks he can act. I don't read his suicidal attack on Morgoth as thinking he can actually beat Morgoth. I think
exactly he knows he can't.
He wants revenge. He knows he's going to die. He wants to go down
swinging.
The person.
And there's also possibly a fair amount of guilt for the kinslaying and leading so many of his people to their deaths as well.
Because now he knows that he's led them to their ruin.
Right. Now he knows there's no hope left, and so he's just going to take this
in a way
kamikaze move.
He's just as bad as Feanor.
Yeah, but and
it is also a prideful mood. It's that I am not going to die, you know, crouched at, you know, somewhere in the room. I'm going to die fighting Morgoth.
Fighting. Yeah.
I'm going to go down in the most glorious way I possibly.
You know what? I'd be willing to bet that Fingolfin, it's possible you could lay more elvish deaths at the feet of Fingolfin than Feanor.
But he don't.
Granted, none of that would have happened without Feanor, but at the feet of Fingolfin's rule than Feanor's.
He led them into peril, but they were. If he had turned around, how many more would actually have turned around with him? They would have just kept on going under Fingo. Really?
It depends who went on and how persuasive they were, because once the ships are gone, there's not really a clear way forward. So if Fingolfin and Finarfin had turned back and led most of their people back, the ones who wanted to keep going would have had to find their own way. And I'm not saying Galadriel would not have found a way, because she seemed pretty dead set on it, and some others as well, but it would have been a much smaller group. So there's arguments that can be made of what if. But the point being that Fingolfin has this streak to him of pride and despair and craziness that leads to some bad choices, and we should see that even in his good choices, that there's an underlying sense of that.
I don't think his pride turns to craziness until he hits the wall of despair. Like his going out against Morgoth is kind of. I think Fingolfin and Turgon's deaths should parallel the death of Denethor in Minas Tirith, where they're like, I know my people are doomed, and I'm gonna give up on trying to survive, but I'm gonna die. I'm gonna choose the manner of my death.
Yes. Yes.
I have opinions about the way Turgon is depicted dying in the Lost Tales.
Well,
Fingolfin is very much like his madness. But they can't be as mad as Denethor, because Denethor is also being poked with a palantir in the brain by Sauron.
Oh, that's true.
But it's like he's.
There's just a
Morgoth in single combat. That's not terribly sane. You're right.
Yeah.
Right, and it's the. I don't want him to be crazy right now, and I don't want him to be showing poor leadership. I just want there to be an undercurrent of pride, stubborn determination, sticking to things, and despair quickly turning into bad decisions should be there. Like when he realizes he's been betrayed by Feanor, he does decide to march across the Helcaraxes, which is a fairly rash choice. So it should seem rash. Even though there's a good reason for it.
He and his, I wouldn't call it rash, but desperate, because they do try to find other routes along.
Yes.
It's like he and his sons are like, once we've decided to go forward, we will not change our minds no matter what.
Yes, and that's just kind of as bad as they are.
Not changing their minds, and then, and Galadriel is like that too, and then Galadriel's brothers are like, they're sort of going along because their cousins are going along, and less because they themselves are like suicidally stubborn.
Right. Right. And I just want to see that streak and undercurrent to Fingolfin's character here. It doesn't have to be the predominant thing in the scene, but feeling that Finarfin has just abandoned him,
Yes.
he doubles down.
Yes.
And that instinct to just double down and keep going should look a little bit more like Feanor.
And when Feanor abandons him, he triples down and he's like, we are not turning back. I will not turn back no matter what. I'm not going to let him win.
Exactly. And I just want to see that start here
Yes.
with the abandonment by Finarfin.
Yes.
Okay.
Do we have everything we need? What else do we need?
We need to kind of bring it all down now. So
12:30.
yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. We need to bring it all down now. So last scene with Círdan and Beleg. Círdan's gonna send. Okay, so Círdan, Beleg, and Beleg are on Galdor's ship because they were the last ones to leave, right?
Yes.
So, so Círdan has Beleg board a different ship to go south. Círdan is going to go with Galdor with a small squadron of ships to head north to check out what's happening up there because we need to get him to where he's going to see the burnt out ships later on. But we need to. There's no reason why he would bring the bulk of his people there. That doesn't make any sense.
We need to evacuate. The mouths of Syrians seem like a good place to evacuate too.
Yeah. So he's sending the bulk of his people. He's sending the bulk of his people south.
I think the Isle, if
there is the Isle of Valar, and there's the small island off Drengist is where Círdan's going to end up. The group that goes with Círdan's going to end up there now, because they're going to be able to see the ships after the fact.
Right. The host had wanted us to send all the ships with Círdan, but I don't think they considered the possibility of splitting them up.
Círdan needed to end up there with some ships.
Right.
The rest of them could go elsewhere. It wasn't a problem.
Right.
Most are non-combatants. They need to evacuate.
Right. Exactly. So the vast majority of them head south. Círdan heads north. Círdan heads north.
He was going to leave the non-combatants on the island and then just take the troops in to investigate. So they did have a plan for the non-combatants, but we don't need to keep them all together.
No.
All right. So he sends Beleg with the bulk of his people south, so that Beleg can bring word to Thingol. Okay. We get the scene.
Boldog.
We're getting there. We got to get. So we get the Feanorians leave, and their departure is discovered. Oh, I forgot. At the end of the argument scene should end with
Finarfin's leaving.
With Finarfin's crew leaving.
Yes.
I'm just writing quickly now. So okay, so for the final, the tag 1, tag 2. Tag 1, Boldog is berated by Thoringwethil for sitting on his hands at his shiny new orc base.
Shiny.
It's probably not that shiny.
It's probably not shiny at all.
It's probably actually smelling filthy.
Yeah.
Most likely, it's full of orcs. So, and I made sure it's not on Himring. They wanted to put it on Himring, and it is not on Himring.
I was just listening to that. As soon as he was saying it, I was like, "Oh, I wonder if Marie was listening." And then the next thing he said was like, he's like, "Oh, Marie unmitigatedly hates this idea."
So it's in the gap of Maglar on the hills there, the
So
unnamed hills.
if you had any doubt that people's voices carry weight,
You convinced them to not put it on top of Hemring?
Yes.
through vehement insistence and caps.
Yeah, I let them know if I'm angry by putting it in caps lock. So usually I only put like one thing in caps lock per session, so it's clear that that's the thing I'm mad about.
Yeah, you have to use things like that very sparingly.
Yeah, I mean I don't even do it every time, but at one point, Coriolson did at some point joke that he can tell that the session's been a good session if he at least at some point drove me to the point of caps lock.
Yeah. Okay. So Therinwithel gives Boldog the general direction to find the Green Elves and heads off to meet Sauron. Boldog kills the nearest orc in a fit of rage for no other reason. Okay. Tag 2. Estelle and Hamilcar meet up by night on the edge of camp. Both of them.
This is in response
Both
to,
of them.
To an adult says
Yeah.
it would be better for you to go. Who
Yeah.
tries to persuade by referring to Finarfin's decision.
Yeah.
Yeah. We need the conversation with the twin.
Oh, you're right.
And Estelle's entire response is, "Oh yeah, if they had all turned back, then you and I would never have been born."
Yeah. We wouldn't be having this conversation.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
And hopefully Hamilcar didn't overhear that and understand what it means. Oh wait, no. Estelle wouldn't say I wouldn't be born. He says you wouldn't be born because he doesn't know who he is. He says you wouldn't even be born if they had all done.
Yeah. Exactly.
Right. Here's a question. Should one of them be following the other, or should they both simultaneously show up at the edge of camp with packs?
I like that.
Yeah, I prefer that they've made the same decision and then join up
independently. Yeah.
Yeah, because since they're not friends, it's not like they would have planned this together.
Right. Exactly.
Neither one is willing to follow the lead of the other.
Right. Like they're not that.
And that I think is going to be a thing I think that's going to be a thing in the next episode too.
Yeah.
So they have a conversation about the Doom of Mendos and bad consequences. Estelle points out that those consequences are responsible for the twins' existence. Okay, Estelle and Hamilcar meet up by night on the edge of camp, both with packs. Awkward silence for a second. I still don't like you, but if they're going to send us home like children, yeah, I'd rather take my chances out there. I think that between the two of them, we can come to that line of reasoning, I think. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying that either one of them has that line exactly, but
Yeah.
Because Hamilcar has little brothers and sisters, so it's quite possible that the staying behind for him is someone's got to watch the younger ones, so you stay with your siblings while the men go out and fight.
Right.
Which Hamilcar's like, screw that.
Yeah, I'm tired of being mom.
Yeah.
Did their mother die?
We decided that last time.
It seemed very Tolkienian.
He does do absent mothers more often than I would prefer.
Yeah. So like, overdoing it, maybe, but.
Okay. Yeah, I think we're good there. What do you guys think?
Okay.
I think so. I mean, at this point, I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever we did must be great.
Yeah, it's only 1:30 in the morning, so yeah.
Great. We're great. Upon review, if we find something missing, we can hash it out on the
Yeah.
forums.
I don't know
It's a
about
good thing. It's a good thing that tomorrow's my only day off of the week.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. All right. Let's wrap it up. So, if you are watching this live and you are still alive, thanks.
Well done.
If you're watching this on YouTube in the future, definitely like and share the videos. If you like and want to share them. If you haven't yet, feel free to subscribe so you can get all this delivered right to your mobile device or computer the instant it is posted.
Available.
Word. Anyway, there's links below. If you look down there in the bottom, there's links below that tell you how to find information about the SilmFilm project, Signum University, Mythgard Institute /Academy, plus Mythmoot 5, very exciting conference coming up. It's going to be held at the National Conference Center in Leesburg, Virginia, otherwise known as the Really Scary Xerox Maze. Have a great night, everybody.